What's going on, guys? This is Mr. DeLoryan here. Welcome back to a brand new video, and this is my 10/12 of the Walking Dead review and discussion video. Before we do get started with this video and review and discussion stuff and everything, I did want to say that I do apologize for this video going up so late. My breakdown for episode 13's trailer should go up Thursday, and so on with other videos, which I do have a lot planned for this week specifically. But like usual, the review will be first, then the discussion. So let's begin. The acting in this episode was really good. Standouts being Jeffrey D. Morgan, Samantha Morin, and Thora Birch, the actor that plays Alden, Kaylee Fleming, John Finn, the guy who plays Earl, and just tons of others and everything. A lot of people did like lots of really good performances, but obviously I'd be here all day if I tried to actually pinpoint everyone. The actors were really good, emotional and intense scenes and everything, like that scene which we'll get more into depth later and everything, but between Earl and Judith, which was really sad and well acted. The special effects were really good, even the practical ones and everything, like the fire at the hilltop, or actually most of it was pretty much practical, and all looked really good and everything and really believable, especially with the amount of explosions and large amounts of fire, which I really did like the explosions. I thought that was really cool. All of it just looked really good and everything. The walkers, as always, looking really good. Earl's walker looked really cool and everything good, and I guess it could be just classified. All this be kind of classified as makeup too and everything, but I guess I'll just clash them together in this one thing. Mary's walker and death and everything looked all pretty believable and cool and everything. Yeah, we'll get more into all that stuff later. Alpha's whole death looked really yet again believable and everything, really well done with the slit of the throat and everything and the blood. I thought all that looked pretty cool, and her walker head actually looked pretty cool. The music and sound was pretty good. The Walking Dead uses a lot of synths and instrumentals and everything in a lot of its episodes and stuff, on a lot of its scores. I can't tell the difference between a score and a soundtrack. I'm always a fuck up in that sense, so it's kind of a staple at this point and everything. And in this episode, it was done really good with a lot of the moments and everything at the leading up to Alpha's death and just tons of other things. But yeah, the sound, especially at the Battle of the Hilltop with all the explosions and yelling mixed with the growls and everything, all that was really good. The camera work was pretty good. I mean, it only really stood out during the Battle of the Hilltop and everything, or at least the second half, I guess. And after that, it was all pretty standard in my opinion. Not a bad thing. It's just when I review camera work, I'm mainly talking about stuff that's like really awesome shots, like that one bird-eyed shot and everything with all the arrows passing and everything in episode 11. So besides all of that and everything, so besides the opening, there wasn't really many outstanding shots and everything, besides the Battle of the Hilltop and everything. There wasn't really anything else outstanding, just standard. But that was my kind of review. Now onto the discussion. The opening battle was really cool and everything, without going on for hours and hours and hours and everything. Seeing the scale of walkers and fighters mixed with the awesome looking fire and explosions was pretty cool. Seeing all of our survivors killing the walkers was really cool, especially how they mixed some whispers in there and everything, with Kelly killing the whisper, Daryl killing the whisper, just tons of all that really cool stuff. Especially Judith's first human kill when she ended up killing the whisper. That was really cool, especially how Earl comforted her after. Seeing Magma alive and Yumiko's reaction to it was pretty cool, even though besides the finding out the fact that Connie was alive and everything, we didn't really get much out of it. Seeing them use catapults is really cool, really cool. I didn't expect them to use catapults, but I thought it was really cool to actually see that. There were only really two weird plot errors in this episode that I guess I'll discuss in this one point, or I guess things that they didn't really show us or explain. I would have liked to see how they got out of Hilltop. There were tons and tons of fucking ways from the get out and everything, but they all were very cut off and shit and everything. There's tons of people to get out, so I just would have liked to see how they all got out. And what happened with Eugene? How do you get the radio equipment out? Because we do see you get some radio equipment out later and everything, but did he get saved or whatever? Did he have to be saved? All of these questions and nothing was shown. Actually, now I think about it, three things. What happened with Luke? How did this happen where Aaron was dragging him and he looked all fucked up? What happened to him? All around, it was a cool battle. I didn't like when Lydia said to Mary or Gamma, "I'll never walk with her again." That was a little, it felt odd and everything, or it might have just been how it was delivered. I don't hate the actress that plays Lydia and everything. I know her name, in this moment I just can't remember it. I don't hate her, she's not a bad actress. It's just that one line right there I was kind of just it might have just been the dialogue, I don't know. But all around, cool. The aftermath of the fight was actually pretty cool, seeing Negan kill that dying fighter and everything, and Alpha getting a bit annoyed about it since it could have been used for her horde or everything. Oh, that was pretty cool. Also, Beta jumping in and getting a bit pissed at Negan, but then Negan delivering that awesome nickname, Frowny McTwo-Knives. That was really fucking cool. I actually genuinely liked that. It was also funny when Beta told him to start gathering walkers and everything for their horde and everything, and Beta, Negan called him a dick and everything. It's just funny and everything. I really like them as a duo, and it kind kind of sucks after this episode we won't really get much more of that duo. But it was cool for the time we had it. Watching Negan try and gather up walkers was actually kind of funny and everything, because like, you know, all of them kept passing him and all that stuff, then he killed him, which looked pretty cool. Him also seeing Lydia and running after her and then running into Aaron was actually really cool and everything. Their whole conversation was actually pretty cool and interesting, especially how Aaron got really pissed at him, knowing, hey, at first when I saw that clip, I was kind of like, is Aaron really this stupid to not see that Negan's not 100% crossed over? But then I kind of thought about it, and a lot of people kind of talked me into the sense of like, Negan was at that battle and everything, and obviously that put people in danger, especially like, you know, Aaron's kind of adopted kid. Well, actually not technically his adopted kid, Gracie and everything, but you know, a lot of people he cares about. So I guess was kind of justifiable a little bit, I don't know. Now let's cover Alden, Mary, and Kelly's plot. Now if you saw my episode 11 review, then you know that I thought Alden's character was an absolute asshole. Like, which he is for a little bit in this episode, when he constantly tells Mary to get back and everything and to stay away while Adam is crying. But after some convincing from Kelly and everything, he finally gives it to her, like, you know, gives Adam over to Mary and everything. And actually watching Mary smile and walk ahead, and then seeing Alden change and everything, and that change in him, and just all that, just that one scene and everything, it was actually pretty interesting and sweet in my opinion. The conversation on that log was pretty nice, especially Alden, like, you know, asking about Mary's sister and them, that kind of emotional moment and stuff. It was sweet. The walkers coming in and trapping them in that van was really cool, especially how scared Alden got, like, you know, for Mary and everything when she ran off. Like, he was like yelling, don't do it and everything, but obviously, like, you know, she did and everything, started screaming, luring the walkers away, killed them all. It was a cool way to show a change in his character and everything, and I actually liked it, because he actually started to realize, oh, she's not a bad person, right? But that didn't last long and everything, because after Mary finished, like, you know, killing all those walkers, Beta stabbed her and everything, and she kind of fought back. And I actually liked this scene a lot and everything, since honestly I couldn't picture her having any other death besides, you know, her sacrificing herself. Her ripping off half his mask and everything was really cool, because it kind of reflects off the comics when Negan got his, like, you know, mask kind of, you know, chopped in half or kind of sliced it a little bit. Her walker looked pretty cool and everything, and Alden having to shoot her walker and then Beta running off and everything was, you know, pretty cool. Since Alden obviously, you know, felt like a bit, like, you know, really sad, I think, since he was just getting to know that she is actually a good person. Oh, and that one whisper, noticing Beta, was really fucking awesome, actually, because, like, he seemed actually genuinely stunned. He was like, oh my god, it's you. Like, he felt like he was, like, experiencing the second coming of Christ. Also, seeing half of Beta's face and kind of going, that kind of looks like Ryan Hurst. That was actually really cool. Now, moving on to Magma, Yumiko, and Carol, and, you know, Eugene. I don't know. That serious scene between Yumiko and Magma was kind of just bleh. I don't know. Like, the comedic moments between them when they were kind of laughing with each other was alright, but their kind of serious scenes were kind of I didn't really like them all that much and everything, and I mean, like, finding out Kanye was alive and everything was really cool and everything, but besides that, it wasn't all that great, and some line delivery was a bit weird. It might have been the dialogue yet again, but it just sounded weird. Yumiko punching Carol was justified, but I was still on Carol's side all throughout and everything, since there wasn't really any reason to like Magma and Yumiko this episode. Carol's almost bitten scenario was pretty interesting and everything, and kind of scary, since it yet again reflected from, like, you know, a comic moment, specifically her death. Her talk with Eugene was pretty nice and everything. I don't think these two have ever had a scene together, shared a scene together, and I actually really liked it, because for many reasons, actually. He told her about the meeting and everything, obviously the meeting between Steph and everything, like, pretty much mentioning that he likes her and he wants to meet her and everything and stuff like that, and how he might not be able to go since obviously the radio is fucking broke as shit, but she actually convinced him to go and everything, like, pretty much go to be who he wants to be with and everything, being Stephanie, and it was actually nice and sweet and everything. Which I feel like Carol will tell Ezekiel to go with, you know, Eugene or anything, or you like, you know, Ezekiel will want to go to maybe cures cancer. I don't know. A lot of people have been spreading around a lot of stuff, like interesting theories about that. The scene where Daryl, Rosita, and the group arrived at the place and couldn't find the kids and everything was actually very intense, especially with, like, you know, the music. Jerry's wife's reaction was actually really good. I still watch it and kind of cringe a little bit and everything, but deep down I know it's actually well done and well acted. It was actually cool to see Jerry, like, you know, try to be more serious and actually try to comfort his wife and calm her down and everything. Like, it was actually interesting. Now let's move on to one of the biggest highlights of this episode, because there's multiple, but this is one of them. Earl, the kids, and Judith. The scenes where Earl was tending to the kids was sweet and everything, but the big heartbreaker was when Judith it was real to us and everything that he was bit, and when Judith found out. She was genuinely heartbroken heartbroken and sad, but their talk was even sadder and, like, you know, more heartbreaking. It was somewhat sweet too, and everything where Earl mentioned, like, you know, his family, like, you know, Tammy, his son, I forgot what his son was. I think it was, fuck, I can't remember. But overall, it was mixed emotions and everything. Like, it was a mixed emotions moment and everything with good acting and overall a good send-off to Earl. Obviously, when Earl, you know, did the deed where bashing his head right into a fucking rebar and everything, it was sad, but Judith putting down and everything was pretty, it was pretty, like, you know, good and everything. Not good as in, like, you know, oh, glad he's dead and everything, but it was actually sad and, like, you know, I mean, we didn't get to see her actually kill him, but I guess, like, you know, they didn't want to show it, but it was fine. It was good all around. Especially when Daryl and the group arrived and, you know, Daryl hugged RJ. Everyone was reunited and everything. Jerry's wife finally found the kids. But when Daryl found Judith and everything, and when, yeah, everything settled in, and we got to see dead Earl and everything, and a nice calming moment between Daryl and Judith and everything where he actually put, like, I was actually really excited to see this scene and everything because we saw it in the trailer and I was like, okay, what's happening in this scene and everything? Because I thought it took place at the Barrington house, the burnt down Barrington house. But nope, it actually took place in this rundown little place, but it was actually nice. Now, the big finale, Lydia, Alpha, and Negan. When Negan captured Lydia and everything, that was really cool and everything to actually see him capture her and her reaction. It was all really awesome because he was like, your time is up, kid, or something like that, and I think some really badass line, but it was really cool in general to just watch, like, you know, him actually be hostile towards her. Now, I could spend hours and everything, hours upon hours and hours on the next part of this and everything, but I'll keep it short and sweet. Alpha naming Negan Lion and everything was really cool and everything because that's, like, you know, the next, like, you know, name and, like, you know, I guess their Greek stuff or anything, but it was really cool to see her name him something. Negan confronting Alpha on their, like, you know, her ways and everything and calling it bullshit and then bring up his dead wife was just like the comics and everything. It was really fucking cool. But Alpha didn't really care and everything, continued to march towards Lydia, who she told Negan to tie up and everything so she could kill, like, you know, Lydia and set her free, in quotes. How this scene was edited, it was really good and everything and intense and just interesting. But they shared, like, you know, some last words and everything, which was oddly emotional, but very intense too, yet again, because of the music and editing. But then the cabin is opened, Lydia sees a field, there's a smoky field and everything, which we got to see very little of it, but it was actually nice looking. And Alpha sees an empty cabin, and this was really cool actually because she turned around, she seemed genuinely very fucking confused and concerned, but then it happened. Negan cuts her throat and everything, the comic moment happened, and it was fucking awesome. It was really cool actually, I genuinely liked it. How they showed Negan doing everything was, like, it wasn't stunning, like the camera work wasn't fucking Leonardo DiCaprio, like, perfect, but it was pretty interesting and very simple, which is why I did love it so much. And guess what? I fucking called it. That knife, like, in his little holster and everything is exactly what he grabbed onto and used. I fucking called it, and it was awesome. How they showed Negan doing it and everything, like, actually that was, I'm reading a script. I'm reading the wrong part. The final clips where they show Negan, like, you know, Negan and Alpha and everything together was very similar to the comics thing, how he kind of lowered her down and everything. They didn't show, like, they didn't, like, I loved it and everything, but they didn't show her, like, you know, Negan cutting off her head, which I guess they did out of kind of, like, you know, Negan show, like, some respect. I don't know, maybe. I wish they would have shown it, but I get why they did and everything, and it was actually really cool. But then the ending, it's real that Carol let out Negan and everything, and that, like, you know, it was her. She let Negan out of the cell. She lets out one last, like, you know, really badass line of dialogue, like, oh, it took you, like, long enough for anything, all that stuff. We see, like, you know, Alpha's zombie head, which looks really fucking cool. We see Negan and Carol finally share a scene together, and awesome scene, awesome episode, boom. So that was my review and discussion for episode 12 of season 10 of The Walking Dead. So, questions. How will everyone react to Alpha's death? How will Beta react? How will our survivors react? Will they be pissed that knowing Negan might have possibly started a very, very, very deadly part of the war? But, what will happen? I guess we'll have to wait till, you know, episode 14, since of course this week's episode, this coming up episode will be Michonne's last episode and everything, which I'll make sure to break down everything for that and everything this week. But yeah, that was my review and discussion, I think, for episode 12 of season 10 of The Walking Dead. I hope you guys did enjoy this video and everything. Make sure to leave your opinions down below on my review, what you guys like and not like and everything. Make sure to leave your reviews and, like, you know, start a discussion down below of episode 12 and everything. Did you guys like it? Did you guys like Alpha's death? Did you guys not like it? Did you guys not like some scenes? I don't know. Make sure to leave your opinions down below, and I'll make sure to read them and reply so we can all have a discussion. And yep, I'll see you guys later. Peace out, my amigos, and peace out.